Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Last week, Boxing News had an article about Alejandra Ayala, the young Mexican woman who was injured when she fought Hannah Rankin last year in May. And she raised some issues about the insurance. Her father had been in contact with the British Board of Boxing Control regarding a payout. And this week, Boxing News had a follow-up because they spoke to Robert Smith of the board about the issues, and they gave him the right to reply, which of course they should do. Robert Smith, he gets a lot of flack, and I understand why in some cases. He definitely swerves issues such as, poor officiating and, very, very bad scorecards, consistently bad scorecards by some people. But it is a thankless task being the chairman of the British Boxing Board of Control. I mean, you're talking about a highly dangerous combat sport, and you have to try and please everyone, which of course is never ever possible in life. However, let me just read you a few quotes from Robert Smith with regard to the previous article. He says, we're disappointed in comments made in the original article. Comments are incorrect, which have been attributed to the board and actions already taken by the board. We've been in constant communication with her father, Vince, that's Alejandra Ayala's father, Vince, and kept him updated as to the process. We have donated money outside the insurance policy and are awaiting a final decision by the insurance company. The boxer's own commission does not have an insurance policy in place, and the board is one of the very few commissions that do. Very good point, we'll come to that later. He then goes on to say, unfortunately, insurance matters take time in relation to future medical prognosis, etc., and qualified consultants are considering all medical reports received and will advise accordingly. Now, all of this is true, but there's a few points that are made later on in the article which I think bear mentioning. Nothing's fair and nothing's perfect in boxing or life, yet there is an argument to be made in the case of Alejandra Ayala that her pursuit of insurance and aftercare would have been a far more arduous task had the final fight of her career taken place somewhere other than Great Britain. Moreover, one suspects there is every possibility her recovery, which she attributes to the wonderful treatment she received in Glasgow that May, that would be May 2022, would have been an altogether different experience had the Hannah Rankin fight taken place within another jurisdiction. Even so, none of that makes the life she now leads any easier. Yeah, I mean, look, the board, again, a thankless task, but generally speaking, if you compare the British Boxing Board of Control's safety measures to the measures of most other commissions worldwide, they stand up very, very well. And you may remember, if you're older like me, you'll remember the Michael Watson-Eubank fight where Watson was seriously injured. You may have read about it if you're a younger boxing fan. But that was a turning point because Watson sued the board. The board had to implement more stringent safety measures. In the Watson case, he was taken to a hospital initially that didn't even have a neurological department. And then, of course, he finally had brain surgery and made a partial recovery, although he needs 24/7 care. That changed everything. That the board actually put in far more stringent measures for protecting boxers, especially ones that are injured. And yes, I think it's absolutely fair to say that Alejandra, she acknowledges the great treatment she received through the NHS in Glasgow, and it's understandable. She's in a terrible position because she now suffers from epilepsy, and you want her to get the money, but most commissions wouldn't have even had an insurance policy, and there have been boxers who are now in extremely bad condition because they weren't given the proper treatment quickly enough, the surgery quickly enough, and the aftercare was just non-existent. So I just thought I'd update you on that. I think it's a very interesting ongoing situation. It'll be interesting to see what Ayala's payout is and how she's doing. If I read anything more about it, I'll give you some updates. And in fairness to Robert Smith, for all we know, behind the scenes, and I'm not privy to anything that goes on behind the scenes, he may be making a maximum effort to help this lady. But hopefully she will get the help and she will get a payout. So thanks for listening, as always. Thanks for your time. You got any comments, leave them below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.